What's up, people? I'm Metalmouth, and you're listening to Horrific Murder Stories. Hey, even though these versions of the stories are heavily censored for the internet, they can still be very graphic and quite disturbing. So please listen at your own discretion.
One location of emergency.
Yeah, 246 Clydesdale Lane.
In Springfield?
Lydesdale.
You're in Springfield?
Yeah, Springfield, Tennessee. It's right behind Oakland Farms.
Okay, what's going on?
Alright, this is what's happened. I've been married 12 years. On the 4th, which would have been 2 nights ago at 4 a.m., I shot my wife in the temple of her head. I thought I killed her. And I put her in the freezer out in the garage. Well, I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead. She's got a big hole in the temple of her head. And to get her body moved around in there, I think I broke her wrist. You know, she was frozen from being in the thing. She's been in the thing 48 hours now. This is no prank call. I need somebody to get out there and help her. I've cleared the premises. I've got away. You know, I'm not going to be there. But I promise you this is a legit call, and I need somebody to get out there and help her, because I still love her. It's hard to believe that after that, you know, but, you know, I need to get somebody out there to help her.
Okay, what happened that caused you to do that?
It's a long story, don't want to get into it, just want to get into getting somebody out there to help her. I left the front door open. I left all the lights on in the house, so it would be kind of easy to spot. It's the last house on the right on Clydesdale Lane. But I left the front door open, and she's in the garage. You go through the kitchen to get into the garage, and you'll see her once you get in the garage. And she's a mess. She can't talk. I could give her to blink. Blink once means yes. Blink twice means no. And so I told her I'm gonna go around the road 10, 15 miles. I'm gonna call 911 and get you some help out here. I thought she'd been dead 2 days, and when I checked on her, she was still alive. She's been frozen for 2 days. She's frozen solid. It's amazing she's still alive. She's got a big hole in the temple of her head. I shot her with a .38 caliber handgun, and there's a big hole in the temple of her head. I didn't see an exit wound.
What is her name?
Samantha Parker.
Is she a white female?
Yes.
How old is she?
43 years old.
And how long ago did you leave there?
An hour ago.
And that's the last time you saw her?
Yes, that's the last time I saw her.
And she was still in the garage?
Yes, she's still in the garage. I made her as comfortable as I could make her. Tried to drink a little water. She couldn't talk. Couldn't move her jaw. She's in bad shape. Really need to get somebody out there to help her.
And the address is 246 Clydesdale Lane?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Joe. I'll just leave it at that. don't want to get arrested tonight and all that. So we don't have a history of domestic disputes. You know, we've never had to call police or nothing. We just had a real bad night a couple of nights ago. And waving the gun around. Got myself in trouble. So, anyway, really need somebody to get out there and help her.
Okay, we'll send somebody out there to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's like urgent. I think she's dying. She got a big hole where the temple of your head is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So please, I love her. I still love her. I've loved her every day I've been married to her. Had a rough stretch here. So anyway, check telling her she's still alive. Now I want to get her somebody to help her that knows what they're doing. And I got to stay out of trouble too. So.
Okay, we'll send somebody out there.
What was your first name?
I'm not going to give you my name, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, make a note on there. I left the front door open, and all the lights are on. And you go to the garage, you can't yell for you. You can't yell. But you go to the garage, that's where you'll see her once you get to the garage.
Okay. We'll send somebody out there.
If she needs, paramedics, she needs everything. She needs an ambulance. She needs trauma. She's trauma. I mean, she's a trauma patient. She might need a helicopter. So please get somebody to her.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
That horrific, bone-chilling 911 call that you just listened to was placed in the early morning hours of November 7th, 2014 at 2:45 a.m. by 45-year-old Joseph Parker. The woman he claimed to kill was his wife, Samantha. Alright, so here's what happened. 45-year-old Slow Joe Parker, he's working as a used car salesman over at the Rivergate Toyota in Metro Nashville. And for whatever reason, he loses his job. He gets fired. And he's not having any luck finding another job. He's been out of work for quite some time. The bills are piling up, and he's not making the mortgage. The house is in foreclosure. His wife, Samantha, she's pissed. She's had enough of it. She's telling him, you got to get a job. She's not having this no more. So on the evening of November 4th, they get into an extremely heated argument about this very subject. And Samantha tells Joe she's leaving. In fact, she tells him she's already filed for divorce, and she shows him the papers. Joe gets enraged. He gets his gun and he shoots her in the head. So he drags her body out to the garage where he stuffs her in the deep freeze. And I do mean stuffed. She wasn't fitting too well. In the course of trying to cram her into this freezer, he broke two of her ribs and snapped her wrist, then realized she's a little too long to fit in here, so he gets a hacksaw and hacks off both of her feet. Police arrive just after 3 a.m. They're checking around the place, and as they're peering through the garage window, they see blood pooling up on the floor in the garage. It's coming from the freezer in the corner, because remember, Deep Freeze Joe cut his wife's feet off before he stuffed her into that freezer. So I'm sure that freezer's filling up with blood and it's leaking out the sides. Before the cops even enter the residence, a BOLO, or Be on the Lookout alert, goes out to the Metro Nashville area for Joseph Parker, who is said to be driving a white Camry. So just before 3:30, the cops enter the house and they find it immaculately clean, virtually spotless, no traces of blood anywhere, hardly looks like a murder scene. Till, of course, they get to the garage. When they open up the freezer, they found the body of Samantha Parker. She had a bullet hole through her left temple, her feet were missing, she was frozen solid and unresponsive. Hardly the blinking woman that Deep Freeze Joe had described to the 911 dispatcher earlier. Slow Joe over here, instead of just letting his wife leave and being done with it, he shoots her in the head, partially dismembers her, and then stuffs her in a deep freezer. 2 days later, he goes back to check on her and says, "It's amazing she's still alive." Well, it, I'd be amazed too. 48 hours deep freezer and she's blinking her eyes. One blink for yes, two blinks for no. So right around 4 a.m., investigators ping Joe's phone and he's only 12 miles from home. So they call him. Joe says he's on his way to Chattanooga to visit relatives and the Bolo is updated with that new info. You know, we already know. You think he's stupid enough to tell the cops where he's going? Probably. Police are also concerned that Joe may be headed back to Rivergate Toyota to take out his former boss, so they set up a surveillance there. Later in the day, Joe's sister Patty receives a call from Joe, and she urges Joe to give himself up. But Joe says no way is he going to do that. He is not going to prison. Roughly 12 hours after Joe made the 911 call, police catch him on I-65 about 30 miles from his house. They turn on their lights and sirens, and Joe pulls over, no problem. And the police, of course, cautiously approach the car with their guns drawn. But when they get close enough to the car, they can see inside. They see force is not going to be necessary. Using the same gun that he used to shoot Samantha. You know, maybe Joe should have just done that right from the beginning. Hey, you ever wonder what I'm really saying and who I'm saying it about? Unfortunately, because of all the different platforms that I broadcast on and all their different community standards and guidelines and blah, 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 I am forced to heavily censor these versions of horrific murder stories. But if you're a true sick, if you want to hear all the gory crime details, all the brutal, explicit talk, maybe even a motherfucker or two getting doxxed, you can access all my uncensored and exclusive content on my Patreon page, patreon.com/horrific murder stories. Do you ever just want to listen to the metal without the horrific murder stories? No talk, no bullshit, just metal. Log on to metalmouthradio.com, a constant stream of pure, crushing metal radio. Less talk, more metal. metalmouthradio.com, because corporate radio sucks.